You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 3. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action today. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and I'm excited to share my stories and life lessons with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hey all, I am so thankful you are here. Today, we're going to talk about funerals. No, wait, don't hit stop because this isn't going to be a downer episode. I promise. It's going to be totally the opposite, in fact, but it's going to make you think a bit. Over the course of my 38 years, I have been to a lot of funerals. I went to Catholic school, so it wasn't unusual at all to attend a funeral of a school employee or a relative of someone. But the one I vividly remember is the one of my dad when I was 7. I can even tell you that I wore a green and red plaid skirt with a green sweater, and we sat in the front pew. Even though there were no kneelers in the front pew, my aunt made my 4-year-old brother and I kneel down, which meant we couldn't see anything that was going on. And it also meant that we were forced to entertain ourselves. And I do believe there was a burst of hysterical laughing at one point. We were just kids, and we were not fully comprehending what was going on. Since that day, I've been to funerals for friends, my mother-in-law, 2 brother-in-laws, a child, countless others. I've been to funerals of people that I didn't truly know well, and I've got to be honest with you, there's a part of me that actually loves them. You're probably thinking, Michelle, why would you love going to a funeral? They're sad and depressing, and someone has left this earth, and hearts are breaking over it. Let me tell you what a funeral is for me. It's about hearing stories about the person who has died from those who loved them the most while they were with us. It's a time to learn more about what this person did while they were here on this earth and how they affected the people they met and the difference they made in the lives of others. It's the time when you hear every positive thing possible about a person. You hear the funny stories people shared with them, and you literally get to know this person on a deeper level. I've walked away from every funeral I've been to wishing that I'd known the individual on a deeper, closer level. It leaves me with a longing to have gotten to know them and be a friend in the way that they were a friend to so many. I mentioned my dad's funeral, but quite honestly, I don't remember who said his eulogy or what was even said. I wish I did, and over the last 30 years, I find myself yearning for stories from what he was like. I have been lucky to have recently connected with a number of relatives that I hadn't before, and I've gotten to hear stories from them of what my dad was like. He was a prankster, and I had no idea. I do recall one Halloween when he stayed back to hand out candy while we trick-or-treated, and he made peanut butter cookies, but he used salt instead of sugar. We realized this after he'd been handing them out, and I remember yelling for kids to come back and give me the cookies because they were awful. Apparently, this is the kind of prank he would have done on purpose back in the day. Like when he brought a live turkey home via a train ride with his brother and sister-in-law because he promised to provide the turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. I'd like to imagine that these would have been the stories that I heard at his funeral, but I'm very blessed to be hearing them now for the first time. Funerals and stories of lives make me want to know other people better, which then makes me start to reflect on what would be said at my own funeral. Would tons of people get up to tell stories about their interactions with me? About what kind of mom, wife, sister, friend I was? Would I be remembered as someone who is funny and outgoing? Who went out of her way to help other people and simply try to make the world a better place? Someone who loved wine and was overly excited to bring newbies to sushi and turn them into sushi roll addicts? Funerals for me are a time of reflection on who I am and who I want to be remembered for being. So here's just a bit of what I hope I'll be remembered as the person I strive to be. A loving mom who tried her very best to teach her kids all she knew and make sure they were healthy and happy and knew how very much they were loved and wanted. A supportive wife who loved fiercely and was the greatest partner and best friend that a husband could hope for. A sister who was always there for her siblings and acted as a surrogate mom. A woman who would go after what she wanted and do all she could to make her dreams and those of her family become reality. Someone who loved wine in the company of friends and treasured walks on the beach. A neighbor who would always say hello and tried her best to get baked goods out every Christmas, even though she didn't most years. A woman who supported and empowered other women and was always willing to lend a listening ear and offer advice if she had any. A businesswoman who's fair, honest, and candid, and who wanted the best for her clients as much as she did for herself. Someone who was always wanting to learn about more things and never stopped educating herself whenever possible. A woman who loved and who was loved. I'm sure my list could go on, and as I wrote the outline for this podcast, these things were all coming out pretty easily because they are definitely what I want to be remembered for. The next time you have a funeral to attend, I want you to reflect on how lucky you are to get to know someone on a deeper level. I want this also to be a reminder to you to connect more with others, whether it's a coworker, a neighbor, your spouse, another mom at the park. Make a genuine effort to get to know them and to let them get to know you. Here's what I'd like for you to do this week. Write down how you want to be remembered. I've created a cute, fun template to make it easy for you. You can just download it off the website. And I want you to fill it in and put it on your bulletin board as a reminder of the person you want to be and you want others to see in you. Take a photo of it and tag me so I can see it too. Let this be your chance to work on who you want to be. Because after all, your past and your present don't define your future. You do. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to chatting with you next week.